Welcome to New Jersey Horror Con and Film Expo. I smell so many sinners out there.
I always like that movie, Robots, where you see a need and you sort of create the solution to the need. So horror in New Jersey, this is like one of the hotbeds of creativity, ingenuity, independence. So you have this whole big swath of this Tri-City with all these independent filmmakers coming up, producing these movies, and no real place to show them locally. Now, we're a worldwide film festival, but obviously a lot of people can't travel from Timbuktu to come here, so we get a lot of East Coast entries into our film festival, and we show a lot of films. And nobody was doing that. The only way to successfully do a film festival in the horror genre is to have a convention attached to it. So really the convention is the pedestal that the film festival sits upon. Without one, you can't have the other.
The New Jersey Horror Con and Film Festival was created by Ryan Scott Weber and Rob Bruce. Their plan was to introduce an East Coast convention where upcoming filmmakers and horror enthusiasts can come together in celebration of the macabre.
Like a lot of the other conventions weren't doing showing films, they were just showing the actors that were in them. And I said, well, why don't you have a place that you can go where you can meet the actors, see the movies that are upcoming, filmmakers, and get some awesome vendors, shop the vendors and everything. So I think that it's just I wanted a fun place to go for people that love movies, not even just horror, just movies in general.
Fans from all over the East Coast region come to the festival to meet some of their favorite celebrities, see some incredible films and upcoming filmmakers, and shop the many extraordinary vendors at the event.
I love the small entrepreneur feel right here. So as compared to some of the bigger ones here, we have for $30, at the door, you're getting an experience, right? You're meeting celebrity guests. You're meeting. We have over hundreds of vendor tables here. We have a venue for people to showcase their horror movies. So you pay that one price at the door, and you're paying for an experience. We kind of, at this stage, we're still pretty small, but we tailor to different movies. So we do groupings. So you're meeting fans. We have panels going on all day. There's a great pop culture mixture of 80s movies and music in here. We've had Marky Ramone. We've had Peter Criss, right? So I think it's just the feel people here. They feel like they're part of the family when they come here.
We are Cosplayers Care.
I am Horror Show Jack.
How you doing? This is Neil Cohen from Exit Zero Zombie.
The event features over 200 vendors offering up their talents, creations, innovative businesses, and their love for the horror genre. Each vendor puts their heart and soul into the craft and offers their very best for the convention.
We are a nonprofit organization. We work with terminally ill and handicapped children as well. We do charity events, hospital visits, as well as Skype calls if need be. We are a nonprofit organization, so all of our services are free. And we just love making kids smile and making them happy and doing the best that we can.
Go to a bunch of different conventions, Comic-Cons, Horror Cons, fairs. Basically anyone who will give me a booth, I'll show up to your backyard pool party. I don't care, as long as there are people to buy something. It was a hobby that I started for myself, and 18 years later now I am self-employed. I make customized fangs and teeth, such as so. And we take an impression of your teeth, and we hand make the fangs right off that. By we, I mean me. My girlfriend and partner in crime and our workers help us take the impression so I can get the fangs done.
3 books. First book follows the first 48 hours of the zombie apocalypse as it begins in New Jersey. Second book, Nuke Jersey, follows life in New Jersey under the zombie apocalypse after New Jersey is quarantined. And the third book, out June 2018, Zombie Democracy, follows the first presidential election post-zombie apocalypse. Originally had written a book about a bunch of guys growing up in Jersey, a bunch of funny stories, but I'd also written a short story about the zombie apocalypse, and I thought, wow, these are two great tastes that taste great together. So I said, why don't I take these characters, put them in the zombie apocalypse, and voila, Exit Zero, the first book.
The vendor's passion for the unusual helps add life to the New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival that makes it a more personal convention.
For me personally, again, I grew up on these horror movies, so there's like, there's a piece of nostalgia there where I meet them, and it's pretty cool. But as a professional, I can't sit there and just stare at them, right? I gotta be professional, and they're used to it. So it's really working with the staff to make sure that they're handled properly, and I have the right handlers with them. But it's great. It makes it fun and all part of it, and I enjoy it.
Our country reeks of trees, our yaks are really large, and they smell like rotting beef carcasses, and we have to clean up after them, and our saddle sores are the best. We proudly wear women's clothing, and searing sand blows up our skirts. And the buzzards, they soar overhead, and poisonous snakes will devour us whole, and our bones will bleach in the sun. And we will probably go to hell, and that is our great reward for being the Royal Canadian.
I think Ren and Stimpy was my favorite just because the response from the fans and the success of the show was phenomenal. And I think, in terms of my accomplishments, it's one of my best things I've done. But I find something good in every kind of art job I get. Worked at a lot of animation studios on comic books. I worked at Marvel for years. But I don't know. I kind of just, my favorite one is the next one. What adventures I have and what kind of fun we can have making cool cartoons and stuff in the future. Well, you know what? This is the first HorrorCon we've ever done. We normally do comic conventions, and at a glance, it's the same, but it's not really. I think the people are kind of groovier, and it's like a different vibe. I think at comic conventions, you get a lot of tourist types who show up because they think Comic Cons are cool, but they're not really into comics. But everybody here seems to be pretty much hardcore fans, and they really know horror, and they love it, and it feels kind of the way Comic Cons used to feel, So we'll see. Maybe we'll do some more.
I drink of my sisters, and I ask for the ability to not hate those who hate me, especially racist pieces of bleach blonde shit like Laura Lizzie.
My book is about how people can learn to do intuitive tarot, which is just a way to get in touch with your own intuition, and it'll also be part memoir, where I talk about shooting some movies like The Craft or Half Baked or different things that I've worked on over the years. I use that to illuminate the lesson of the cards. But I was into all of it way before The Craft, because I think people think I got into it because of that. But I actually, as a young girl, really liked books by Carl Jung, who is one of the forefathers of modern day psychology and psychiatry, and he used tarot cards to help his patients tap into their subconscious. So as a little kid, I would pull down Carl Jung books and read them, and so by the time I got a tarot deck when I was 11 or 12, someone gave me one. It was sort of the similar images that were in the Jung book, Man and His Symbols. So anyway, that's how I got into tarot, and then I really think the Craft script was attracted to me because I was already sort of interested in esoteric studies. This particular HorrorCon, New Jersey HorrorCon, has been amazing. Everyone has been so nice. The people who run it are great, and the people who are coming up to my table are super sweet. And I think it's terrific. There's a lot of people whose hobby is collecting different memorabilia from things. So an event like this is fantastic, and they can come and meet other people who have similar interests. So I always have a blast when I'm at conventions.
Well, American Werewolf in London was a lot of fun, with the exception of the makeup, which was a really hard process to go through and tedious. 10 hours a day in the makeup chair, and something that I'm glad I only had to do once. Well, this was back in practical makeup days. This is before CGI, of course. So we're talking about actually doing, these prosthetics on my arm. So I had to make molds of my body, my arms and my legs. I had to make head molds and face molds. So that means, going under quick drying cement, basically. And it's a really claustrophobic experience. And, but once you do that, then they make the makeup. And then the application of that makeup, once we got to England, took a long time. So it was very tedious. It's usually, especially when it's well attended, it's, as this show was, you get to meet a lot of fans. You hear a lot of people's experiences and how scared they were when they saw this film, for example. And it's just a lot of fun to meet them all these years later. And they're generally very friendly and complimentary, going, "Yeah, I recognized you." I went, "Oh, good. That's good to hear."
I am not a chicken. Why does he keep calling me a chicken? Come on.
Amy, you don't believe me, do you?
I love you, Joe.
Hey, Amy, come on.
It's interesting because, as I said, I've been behind the camera as a director for 27 years now. I actually just directed my first play off Broadway this winter, so that was really exciting. It's still running over there, New York City Center, Stage 2, just in case. But Married with Children gave me my second career, so I will always be grateful for that. Not only for the chance to create a pretty fun character in Marcy Darcy, somebody needed to keep Al Bundy in line, but also to really grow my career. And as you know, directing is much more of an expansive, creative endeavor. As an actor, you're sort of one piece of that puzzle. And as a director, you get to put the puzzle together. So it's just where the momentum of my career was after I ended with Married. And so that's where I stayed. Now, Fright Night, it's sort of the two things I'm most known for as an actor ended up being these cult classic things, which is crazy. And it's nice to be able to come to these conventions to talk to people about that part of my life, because it was a while ago. So Fright Night was a sort of magical experience when we were making it, and somehow that magic has stayed with this project, or as Tom Holland, the writer-director, would say, this picture, because he's, old Hollywood, it's a picture. And we're able to come and meet fans for second and third generations of the film. And no, we had no idea that it would have that sort of longevity, but there's something about the 80s, something about this movie, because it took the genre and didn't make fun of it. Tom really honored that vampire lore, and then he added so much humanity with these characters, and they had fun together, and there were giggles in the movie, and then there was really, truly, what was back then state-of-the-art effects. It's all practical, This is long before CGI. So I'm just very fortunate that the two of the main projects that I did in front of the camera ended up being things I get to talk about decades later.
The New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival is an event that brings together all walks of life. It's a place where the weirdest and the most extraordinary people come together to bond over one thing: horror.
It's awesome to see this. It's great. Every day, it just gets better and better. So we work hard. Pretty much when this show ends tonight, it's the Sunday, the last day. Tomorrow we start the next one. So, and it's ready to have ideas and reunions planned, and so.
But I just like the environments of conventions, the energy that comes into them, and the people, fans.
I like seeing everybody happy and having a good time here. That's the best part.
It's just, upbeat, happy, blood and guts. It's a horror convention. So, you kind of feed that enthusiasm and fan base, and you get a lot of energy out of it.
I mean, from both sides, obviously we want to be successful, right? So we can have more conventions. And it just means that, the word's getting out there. We are New Jersey based. We get folks from the tri-state area, and people are starting to even traveling further than that. So it just means, we're doing it right. We watch the social media feeds, and the word's getting out there. We're promoting more. We're on 101.5 at DHA, and the word's really getting out there. And there's a real positive buzz out there about this convention. If you go out there and see it, people who come here and partake in the show really enjoy themselves. That's important to us.
Do you dare join the people on the other side of New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival?
Thank you for watching this Foeshig Productions television broadcast. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.